My name is Samantha Lee, and the night I accused my boyfriend of stealing my hidden cash is something I'll never forget. Not just because of the humiliation I caused him, but because of the lesson I learned about trust, assumptions, and patience. I had been dating Mark for over 2 years, and things were mostly perfect, or so I thought. He was kind, attentive, and funny, someone who made ordinary days feel special. I, on the other hand, had always been cautious with money. I liked keeping a small stash of cash hidden for emergencies, something I didn't even tell Mark about. One Friday evening after a long week at work, I came home and went to check my secret spot, only to find it empty. Panic gripped me. My mind immediately went to the worst-case scenario. Someone had taken it, and the only person who had been in the apartment recently besides me was Mark. I called him right away, my voice trembling, and demanded he come home. When he walked in, tired from his own workday, I held up the empty envelope. "Mark, where's the money?" I asked, my words sharper than I intended. He looked confused, then concerned. "What money?" he said. I repeated my question, my voice rising. "The cash I keep hidden. It's gone. Did you take it?" His expression shifted from confusion to hurt in seconds. "Samantha, I would never. Why would you think that?" I didn't listen. The anger and fear clouded my judgment. "Because it's missing. And you're the only one who could have taken it." I could see his eyes fill with disbelief. He tried to explain that he hadn't touched it, but I was too angry to hear him. I started pacing, my accusations growing louder and more public. Mark's face fell as our argument drew attention from neighbors and a delivery person who had just arrived. I could see the humiliation on his face, the way his shoulders slumped, and yet I continued, demanding an explanation, insisting he admit what he had done. I felt justified in my anger, convinced I was uncovering a betrayal. He finally asked me to calm down, to think, and even offered to help me search, but my pride made me refuse. Hours passed, and the argument escalated, leaving both of us exhausted. Finally, in a frustrated moment, I decided to check the apartment more carefully. That's when I noticed something strange. A small pile of bills tucked behind a stack of books on the shelf I never usually touched. My heart sank, and I carefully lifted the books to reveal the envelope, exactly where I had hidden it, untouched. It was then I realized what had happened. In my haste and stress, I had forgotten exactly where I'd placed the money. I turned to Mark, tears welling up in my eyes, and whispered, It was here the whole time. I'm so sorry." His expression shifted from hurt to cautious relief, and then to quiet frustration. "Samantha," he said softly, "you accused me of something I didn't do, humiliated me in front of others, and didn't even give me a chance to explain. Do you understand how that feels?" I nodded, choking back my guilt. I see it now. I panicked, and I let my fear get the best of me. I shouldn't have jumped to conclusions or yelled at you. He sighed, rubbing his face, trying to calm down. "Trust is everything, Samantha. Accusations like that, they leave marks." I felt like I had left a mark, on him, on us, on the bond we had built over 2 years. I spent the rest of the evening apologizing, not just with words, but with actions, sitting beside him quietly, holding his hand, and letting him know I understood the gravity of my mistake. Over the next days, I reflected on what had happened. I realized that fear and assumptions can be destructive, even when they come from love or concern. I also learned that patience, communication, and trust are the true foundations of any relationship. Mark forgave me eventually, though he admitted it would take time to fully move past that night. We rebuilt slowly, more careful this time, more deliberate about honesty, and more aware of how easily misunderstandings can escalate. That night, I humiliated the person I loved most, but I also discovered something equally important. The power of humility, the need to pause before accusing, and the reality that jumping to conclusions can hurt more than the problem itself ever could. Now, whenever I feel fear or panic rising, I remember that night and remind myself to breathe, to think, and to trust before reacting. Because one accusation, spoken in haste, can shatter hearts, but one apology, offered sincerely, can begin the slow and difficult process of healing.